Hi everyone, welcome back. I am sharing my story that is, spiritual and has been a long journey for about 3 years now, a little bit more. And there's a lot of darkness in this story, and I'm seriously considering writing a book about it, but I've just been guided or felt the need to do videos like this about my situation in order to help people in similar situations and how to handle spiritual attacks in different ways. So this story, I think I've shared like half of that story, and just the other day I thought, well, this other thing that that happened a few days or a few weeks later, I can't really remember, this was like 3 years ago, but it was connected to that first incident. So I'm sharing this as a whole story now. Let's see if I just remove that other video that I made. Anyways, this involves both entities, like dark entities, and extraterrestrials. And it all started like after an attempt to heal, where I basically, this is called topican healing, and I started doing this as a course where you say these commands. You kind of command God to do different healings for you. And I read somewhere that you can have contracts, like negative contracts that are made in your dreams and stuff like that, where you just get tricked to have contracts, or you can have from past lives or anything like that. So after I read this, I was in bed and I just kind of blurted out without even thinking or knowing anything else. I just said, well, I break all of those negative contracts. And immediately afterwards, I felt this energy just kind of leave from my crown chakra or head, just left. And I was like, yes, I finally did it. And then I don't know what went by, like a minute or 30 seconds or something like that. And then this really dark, it was like a dark cloud just came from behind me, from the wall. I was in bed and the wall behind me, and just came kind of over me and just lowered down. And it was just the most terrifying negative energy I've ever felt. I don't think I've ever felt any negative energies like that, coming in. But it was like it was draining me, like sucking my energy out. And it just gave this, like, I thought, I have 10 seconds left to live. I'm gonna die. My heart just started racing, like from normal to just really, really never had it that high. And I was just terrified. And so I just started praying, kind of just prepared to die. It was this really awful moment. And I've explained this moment before, so I'm not going to get into that right now. But I didn't die that night. This energy kept going for like 2 more hours. And afterwards, it calmed down. I didn't sleep 1 second that night. And I got really scared of the dark after that. And the following night, I was exhausted, of course. I hadn't slept all night before. And so when I fell asleep, this arrangement started happening in my, like, I was just in between, like, dream and reality. Like, well, I guess I was asleep, but I could see how items that I had, in real life around me, white items, were placed around me like this sacred you know, space around me. So all of my like whitish items around me were placed around me. And I was really rushed in this dream to say yes, agree to this thing. So my subconscious said yes. And I just woke up and I was like, no. You know, I had this like panic. Like, I do not agree to that. But somewhere, you know, subconsciously, I did agree to something. And I don't remember what that was. And I think it was at work, same day, you know, after this had happened in my dream, that I felt like I'm gonna die in 3 days. Like, I just had this really like strong sense that I'm gonna die in 3 days. And it wasn't like I connected, you know, whatever I agreed to in this dream, I didn't connect that. It was just this really strong feeling that I'm gonna die in 3 days. And during all of this time, I had negative energies coming in. Like it was like I had no shield whatsoever. Like it was just completely open. So, you know, at work, just pretending like nothing and just get like this really dark energy come in inside of me. You know, it was really freakishly scary. And 3 days later, it was Friday, and I was at home cooking, and my son was in like the kitchen area as well. And as I was cooking, this dark energy just kind of swooshed from my left side to my right side. It's really unnerving, like really unsettling energy. And I could just, you know, there was something else that happened. I remember going to the mailbox before that to get the mail, and just before I arrived to the mailbox, I felt this energy just come down and kind of clawed its way into my shoulder area. You know, when it's an energy, you can't really just pick it off. You know, it was just there. And all of this, when it would happen, I was just like, I'm just imagining it. You know, I knew I wasn't, but I kept telling myself that to not lose my mind. And well, this was 3 days later, and we were sitting eating eventually. And I was kind of like panicking. So after dinner, I called my sister or texted her that we were going to sleep at her place. So we left and arrived at her place like 45 minutes later. In the car on our way there, I had like this first feeling like I was gonna die, like something happened in my stomach area. It was really unnerving, but nothing really happened. And we kept going, and eventually we got to bed. And I remember like just when I kind of fell asleep, it was like something opened in the wall. It was like a little door opening in the wall. And I got up, I went to the bathroom, and I talked to my sister, and I was just like crying and really scared. And it was at that point when she hugged me that I just felt these kind of, I don't know what to call them, like particles, like soul particles, I would say, just kind of left my body. It just kind of went up up in the air. And I was like, this is it. I'm gonna die now. And then I didn't. And so I went to sleep. But when I woke up the next day, I didn't die in my sleep either. But I had like this, I don't know, like my heart chakra felt like it had been replaced with something, I don't even know what to call it. it was so it wasn't like it was heavy, it was like there was something metallic or something in here, just really, and just kind of hole-ish, like hole, like a hole. Something felt so weird in my heart chakra, and I still can't say like this happened to me, this was, you know, them did this, or, you know, I don't know. But through all of my experiences that I've had these past 3 years, there's been spiritual and like entity spiritual attacks, and there's been like extraterrestrial attacks, because there's been such a difference in the energies. Like you can just feel that it's not the same energies. Some are just really dark, and some are just more technical. Like I've felt like lasers were like kind of opening my skin up. And I haven't seen anyone during this time. The only thing I've seen, if you were talking extraterrestrials, is waking up one night. This was after this, you know, started. And I just fallen asleep. And it was, you know, when you fall asleep and you know that you're gonna sleep well, like there was nothing else waking me up but a part of me, like my source team or something, waking me up, because all of a sudden I'm just like opening my eyes. And as I did something, like, let me draw that for you, what I saw. Not a great picture at all, but just so you get, because I can't explain this at all. Kind of like this, like from the ceiling, something hanging, and then just like spiky around it, like a microphone but without the round around it, so just spikes. Was kind of aiming for like my forehead area, so it was not far from my head when I saw this. But as I, you know, opened my eyes and saw this, it just swiftly went back up again. And I flew out of bed, and I was just like looking away for 1 second. And as I look up again, it just kind of disappeared into the roof, like poof, and it was gone. I can't explain this at all. It doesn't make any sense. But it was there. And that's like the only thing I've seen, and you can't say that that is entities, you know? And there's been so many other like examples that are not entities. This is extraterrestrials. And from what I've read in like one that I've been talking about, light protocol, light healing protocol, I can't remember the name now. He's talking about that they are in cooperations, like 3 different extraterrestrial groups and entities. How weird, however weird that sounds. So yeah. After these, like the particles that left me, I don't know if that was like my soul, like part of my soul maybe. And this thing in my heart chakra, it was like a few days later. I was bouncing back and forth in different houses because I didn't want to sleep where we had slept when, you know, in my home. So this was at my mom's house when we slept there. And these negative energies were still like coming at me, and I smelled different things, and it was just, there was a lot of weird things happening those days. Like the first few months were awful, like all of the time, just a nightmare, from like whenever in the middle of the night to just 24/7. And that night, as I was sleeping, it was like I woke up, because this wasn't a dream. It was like I woke up and I saw, like in my, like subconsciously with my third eye, I don't really know, I saw, and I don't know what to say, that this was extraterrestrials or entities, I don't know. Someone took, it was like a sacred room inside of me. It was like a tall ceiling, a small room, a really small room, like just a few square feet, but a tall ceiling in that room. It was just white. Everything was white. And in the middle of the room, there was this transparent and then blue inside of that, like an egg or a ball, more egg shaped, in the middle of that room. It was the only thing in that room. And I just saw them taking it and replacing it with something that looked the same. And then it was like I woke up after that. And I got this, like after that, I don't know, remember exactly when, but after that I was like, I have seen this before. I have been through this before. And I keep getting those weird, like just really vague flashes of when I was a kid, that I have had this experience before. Someone has done this to me before, taken exactly this from me before, and I didn't know then either what to make of it. Well, what was that? What did they take and what did they replace it with? What is that? I know that when I was doing this Tolkien healing course, you can muscle test to get certain answers through this manual of different options, kind of. So you can ask these questions and get like, is it in column A, B, or C, and is it this or this line? And I got several times, protect yourself, protect yourself, protect yourself. So I keep getting, back to that, like, was it a cell? Because we can have, what do you call it? Gifts in our cells that we can activate. And other things that are really special to us. So, I don't know. I keep getting in these messages. I've told this in others videos as well, that I get this guidance in my in general tarot readings, and a lot of them has been you're gonna what do you say, you're gonna get back everything that was stolen from you. So I keep wondering if it's, if that's what they're referring to, like, has my gifts been stolen? Has I have shared this as well, that I think this was the second night that I was talking about, when they tricked me to say yes to something. Either this night or the next night after that. It was in the near future of what happened first, where I felt like I died again, but in a different way. Because just when I fell asleep, I could feel, there was no warning before, but I could just feel, like, just like this, something was pulled, I think it was from my head, this was such a long time ago, and out of me. And I just saw something orange and something green as this was yanked out of me. And it was like a surfing board in shape, it was long and wide. Something green and something orange. So it took me forever to even wonder if this was it. I had no idea at the time what that could have been. But now I'm like, is that our chakras? I mean, who knows? Maybe they are like that inside of us. I have no idea. But something was taken from me then, and as that was removed from me, I died for like a second or something. It just went lights out. Like, just imagine all of your energies, boom. So it's like I know what it would be like to just be, when you give your animal a shot, to end their life because they're suffering or sick or whatever. It felt like that, like just being, just go. And just a second afterwards, I was brought back to life. I can't even explain that. It just went so fast, like I couldn't even comprehend, but it was really scary, that whatever, if it was a second or a tenth of a second, it went so fast, but it was really, really, really scary. And I know that all of these stories that I'm telling you are just like, come on, are you serious? I mean, I can't even tell my family this. The things that I have said to them has now just kind of backfired completely against me in a way where it's like they've even reported me to reported my son to the social services, I guess you say, as a, I don't know what it's called in English, but like worry about my son because of things that have happened, and they think that I'm in this, what do you call it in English, cult, and that I'm just gonna pack up and leave with this cult and my son, which is, so far away from the truth. And because I quit my job and I got an inheritance, I've told this in other videos, and this, I was guided to take this time before I even got the inheritance, to just take this time and trust, to quit my job and trust. And this money came in just on time. And I've just been guided to follow my heart and heal and, go a completely different way than the traditional work 7 to 5. And it's been really hard to go against my own family, friends, everybody around me. Like, there's not a lot of people that would understand. And I guess that's why I feel even more compelled in a way to share my story, because if there's anyone out there who's feeling the same way, stressing about this in any way, because this thing that I've been through, it covers a lot of areas. I mean, you could have dealt with just entities or just extraterrestrials or just following your heart. I mean, whatever it is, it's still hard. It's still hard to go against the normal, to be outside the box. But I'm really starting to realize that, I mean, it's crazy how hard it is to be reported and to sit and defend yourself as a mother against people who you thought, would be by your side. And I don't blame them. I know that they are worried about me and they have their reasons to do it. I'm trying to understand them as well, and they're scared. I hope I would react differently if I was the one on the outside looking in on someone and not think the worst. And if there's anyone out here looking, having a relative who's in this situation, then my best advice to you is to talk to the person and try to understand, because even if you haven't been through it, it doesn't mean that they're crazy. And we all come here we have different experiences, and not everyone had spiritual experiences, definitely. And I mean, it took me a long time. Well, I've had some experiences as a younger person, and I think I got so scared that I shut everything down. Like I just closed off my third eye, and you know, I didn't even understand that that could be a gift of mine. I didn't see it as that at the time. To end off my story, what I think, ties into this is that I think this was like 2 weeks later. I was sitting in the middle of the night praying. I had this like mantra prayer that I've been given to just to raise your vibration, to get help, to heal. And it kind of went, I am healed by Divine Father, Divine Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit. That was the mantra or the prayer. And to just say that over and over again 3 times a day, 30 minutes. And so I guess something had happened during that night. So I was scared and I started doing that prayer. And I don't remember how long in, but all of a sudden I had my eyes closed, so I wasn't looking, but I see in my third eye, I guess. But it was like I was looking. It was the same, background. And it was like this really bright light. Like I've never seen a bright light like this before. It kind of went all the way, like a horizon. And in that light, there were like 3 figures coming down. And I just felt this like beautiful energy. And at first I got scared because I could feel it all when it was like here. You could just feel that it came in through my auric field. And I got scared because, all I had felt during this time was these negative energies. And then as it goes inside of me, it's just the brightest of lights, like it just felt like a soul. And I don't know if I was being kind of replaced with a soul. I was still in this Tolpacon healing course, and I think it was the next day or 2 days later. This is really, God's work, that this information came to me at that time, because I didn't know what to Google on or search for after this. But Dr. Karen Can, that had this course, talked about soul merge. And I can't remember specifically, but she was saying something about that you can have like a soul of your own, like your soul from a different timeline, like a higher timeline coming in. And I don't know if I got that because I lost my soul, or to get help from a soul, my soul in different timeline, like a higher timeline. I don't know what happened. I can just say what happened. And she also mentioned in that you get extremely tired during these first days. And that was really one of my symptoms. I was so tired. Like my whole body was just drained. I remember we were outside, I don't know what you call it, getting the leaves together in the garden, and I could barely do anything. I was exhausted. So something happened. But I love looking back on this memory, because that was like my first, and still it's like my biggest proof that there is a higher power, and we're not just praying for nothing, for no one. It was, really beautiful. So yeah, if anything, I want to give you hope that if you are praying, then keep doing that, and know that you are getting help. I've gotten so much help with my prayers, with my, healing with the divine. Where I am today and where I was 3 years ago, it's completely different. And I'm not talking like, oh, I'm so rich now, or I have my dream relationship, or blah blah blah. Things haven't unfolded for me as I have kind of hoped, or I'm not the most patient of persons. I think this is one of my life lessons, to be more patient. But it was a long time ago where I felt any kind of attacks, and one of the main messages I would say that I keep getting in like every general tarot reading I come across is, you are so protected, you are so protected. And yeah, I am so protected, and I can feel these beautiful energies around me sometimes. So just know that if you ask for help, and I do every day, every night, I ask for protection. And I don't think I would be protected if I didn't. And not because God is evil in any way, but because they can only protect you so much. They can only like keep you alive if you don't ask for anything more. But if you ask for it, you can basically ask for anything. And I don't mean to say that you should take advantage of this in like a, selfish way. But more like, if you feel like you're struggling with your confidence, then ask for help in that area. If you feel like you are struggling with money, then ask for help. And this will come to you in different ways. Like you're going to come across information that you need, or a person that you need, or whatever it is. Or it can just be spiritual support as well, because that is something I've learned as well, that I have broken a generational curse that we had in my family lineage. So I have ancestors helping me as well. And my throat is really this is one of the things that was in my family lineage, throat chakra blockage, where we were afraid of sharing our truths. And that has been something that I've been encouraged to do here, to just keep going with this, like share my videos, share my stories. And I've been really, in a way, compelled to do it, but in a way I've felt really reluctant because of fear of, especially when my family reacted this way. And it's like, well, what happened if they find this out, and blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of fear. But then again, I'm thinking, nothing should ever stop us from doing something we know is right because of fear. That cannot be the reason why we don't do things. And yet it always is. But you know what I mean. So I think that was it for today. And yeah, if you have a similar story and you want to just share that or something, then feel free to do so in the comment below. Or comment down below. And I'll see you again in the next one. Take care. Bye.